Hello and welcome to Community Corner here on the Serenity Resource Connector. Thank you for tuning.
Serenity Resource Connector, business registration and compliance.
All right. Thank you so much for tuning in on the various platforms. If this is your first time tuning into this program, a warm welcome to you. I am Winsome Sharia Witter, and it's always a pleasure to facilitate these awesome engagements with the community from across the island and in the diaspora. So feel free to share with us where you're joining us from. And just in case you missed last week's program, that was primarily focused on what's going on in Area 3. We had ACP from the commanding officer for Area 3 sharing with us, as well as the relatively new commanding officer for Clarendon and Sergeant Chambers from the Community Safety and Security Branch. So if you missed that, you can check that out. There's a link to the blog post that gives you a comprehensive recap of that program in the description on YouTube that you can access. But for this forum, we are going to be focusing on empowering communities, and we're focusing primarily on post-hurricane support and opportunities. And we are just so pleased to have our Minister of Labor and Social Security here with us, as well as our relatively new Regional Director from Heart Trust Region 6. And let me just bring them on stage here with me. Welcome, Minister. Thank you so much for joining us, Minister Pearnel Charles Jr., MP, JP, in his capacity as Minister of Labor and Social Security, as well as the lovely Charlene Mohan, Regional Director for Heart Trust at the Region 6 location. Welcome. All right. So most, if not all, our viewers are familiar with our minister, but if you just share briefly with us in terms of because we're zoning in on the post-hurricane support, and we're going to be focusing on Clarendon because of what happened down south, which is in your constituencies. So if you could share briefly in terms of that geographic space in that area, what's happening there since the hurricane.
All right. Well, thank you, Winsome. Good evening to you. Good evening to Charlene and to all who are listening or watching. The hurricane certainly took its toll on southern Clarendon, southern Manchester, southern St. Elizabeth in particular, but across the country. Several homes have been impacted in one way or the other, whether it is the hurricane wind or the rain that followed the hurricane that caused flooding. For southern Clarendon, primarily the Rocky Point division and moving up into Race Course area, we saw and have observed rather significant damage. I mean, Rocky Point, Portland Cottage, Mitchelltown in particular, several homes completely destroyed. Collapse. Other homes, sorry, got a call a while ago. Other homes, significant damage to the items inside because of the flooding. So the reality for us is that it's going to take us a long time, but the Ministry of Labor and Social Security has a ministries working with the NGOs like Food for the Poor and working with Red Cross and ADRA and Samaritan's Purse and other stakeholders who have come together for us to do two things in particular. One is to complete the damage assessments, which means that we have to go around and observe and examine and collect the data so that we can know what we are allocating in terms of money and resources to help you to get back on your feet. The second thing is, while we're doing that damage assessment, we continue to provide urgent and immediate relief. So you'll notice that you have a number of persons who are going around and passing food packages They're delivering hygiene kits, tarpaulin, delivering every type of support that is necessary to help you, particularly those that have been dislocated and displaced out of a home, some persons who are in shelters, and others who cannot go to work or cannot get the opportunity to, to carry out the economic or commercial activity because their shed is down or the weather doesn't allow. And particularly for fishing villages like ours, where that industry has been severely impacted. So it's been an arduous task for us the last 2 weeks. Our team has been out. They've been packaging. They've been getting support from JDF to provide mattresses and other support. But there are several persons who are listening now who would probably say, "But what about me? You know, I haven't seen you. You haven't come to my place yet." That's because it is a step-by-step process. And even as we try to go to every home, when you go to a street, sometimes people are not at home at that time, and you have to return. And also we're trying our best to hit those that are priority first and then come down. So persons who have lost everything, we're trying to see if we can give them support. It doesn't mean that if you just lost a window or just lost something small that you don't need help. It's just, as you can understand, we're trying to assist the most vulnerable first. I'll leave it there for now.
Okay, all right. That's a great foundation to continue from. All right, so we're going to allow Ms. Mohan now to share with us, because we're talking about Region 6. Most of us in Clarendon, we're familiar with our parish manager, Zika Brown. And then we had Dr. Shimhue as the regional director for a while. So you're relatively new in the position as regional director. Just to reemphasize what that role entails and what geographic space does Region 6 cover?
All right, excellent. Thank you so much, Mrs. Witter, for inviting me and inviting the Heart NSTA Trust to share. I am responsible for Region 6, and Region 6 encompass the parishes of Clarendon and St. Catherine, spanning all the way to the borders of Manchester, Trelawney, and, you know, go around the periphery. And we at the Heart NSTA Trust are looking to support as much as possible with the programs we have persons in this particular geography who may be affected by the passing of the hurricane Beryl.
All right. So, and I know that the hurricane came just about the time we're getting ready to start our summer program, that exciting summer skills program, plus the usual Hope program. Tell us a little about that, how you're able to navigate that so that you're able, because I know the Hope program started this week. Just tell us a little bit about what the impact was like and how you're able to navigate.
So we have 2 summer interventions running simultaneously. Our summer interventions are for persons from the ages of 14 to 29 and up to 34 if you are a person with disability. Our Summer of Skills program, which is really a summer academy for our young people ages 14 up to about 18. We have that going on right now, right across our institutions, and we would have promoted that significantly. You'd have seen the Minister of Information sharing too about this particular intervention. This is happening right now. It's affected slightly because some of our institutions are also impacted by the hurricane, and so they have delayed their start dates for specific programs. And so they would have been communicating with applicants about when the program will start if they have not started the programs. And we're talking about institutions in Region 6, that's Ebony Park Academy, Old Harbor, Luidersville, and the Hart College of Construction Services. So those locations, though the summer opportunities exist right across the island. And so I'm advocating for us to look at programs across the entire island, because I know in the summer sometimes the children may go to another parish, to an aunt or a cousin to spend some time. They can access the opportunities there. Additionally, our Hope Youth Summer Work Program, which happens annually, we have 2 phases of that program. That program we pushed back to begin this week on the 15th of July. And we recognize that persons would have been affected, both businesses and the persons who normally participate, or young people. And so, because of that, persons were recovering. We thought it was fit to push back the date to ensure that we can accommodate those entities that will onboard our young people for the 3 weeks, and also for the young people in their homes and spaces to be able to come out and participate in the program. And so, the first phase is from July 15th to the second, and then thereafter we will run the second phase of the program coming out of that heroes period, sorry, that independence period, August 7th.
Fantastic. I'm happy you mentioned that point about those children who are young people who spend holidays outside of, because that's something that I never thought about, because how do you apply for a program if you're not going to be in your parish? All right, so that's great to note. All right, let's bring back in Minister, because I know that outside of the care packages, the different packages that's been, there are different programs that the Ministry of Labor and Social Security, I'm going to be using MLSS for short as we continue the discussion. All right, so what are some of the specific social services and support that families and individuals can access coming out of the hurricane period, other than the care packages that are being handed out now?
So of course, you know that our PATH beneficiaries, we're looking for them specially. And in particular, for this month, we have given some relief as it relates to the requirements in terms of school attendance, so that they can get the PATH money as quickly as possible and without any obstacles. Same for NIS, we have relieved the life certificate obligation so that there's less hassle and less problems and mechanisms for our senior citizens to have to go through. And we've also blocked out a number of the beneficiary slots for our social intervention program that's focused on entrepreneurship, so that in those areas that have been severely impacted, we can get direct support to some of those young people who want to start back or restart business. Additionally, we are in the whole assessment process. We are defining different categories of damage, so that those persons who are in particular categories will be able to receive a grant to assist them to do so. Sorry, if there are persons that are impacted in terms of economic issues, we also provide micro grants or grants for micro business rather, connected to households. So we have a comprehensive approach to assisting households and members of the households to be restored as best as possible. And we also try our best to provide a passage to other support. So it may not be directly related to hurricane burial, but if we, for instance, see someone that is over 75 and would qualify or be eligible for the social pension program, we're putting that person on social pension. So we're using this as an opportunity to get as much persons registered in all of our programs as possible. Same thing with the JCPD. As we go around, we are trying our best to register persons who are disabled, because that's one of the best ways for you to get access to the benefits that are available if you are a part of the JCPD, and same for the senior citizens. So we're trying to turn our hand and make fashion. This is a negative, but we're trying to make as much positive out of it, and to make sure that we use the opportunity of having so many boots on the ground to collect data that's going to help us in improving and becoming more efficient in the delivery of our services and the benefits to the people that we serve. That's why we say we are the people's ministry.
Indeed. And that is great news to hear that data is actually being collected, because I mean that's where the progress lies, in the data, because you need that to make informed decisions. So do these individuals go to the office in their parish, or do you have social workers going out into the communities? Do they wait for the social workers to come, or they go to the office to inquire?
Right now, we have several social workers out. Okay? But I would say to someone, if you feel like you have not been caught or been engaged by a social worker, go to the office. The office is yours. All right? And, you know, if you can't find the office, you go online if you can, and you can get our phone number and email and send that. But I would tell persons, get up and go to the Ministry of Labor and Social Security office and ask questions about different programs that are available. They will tell you the range of possibilities. One of the things we've found in Winsome, people know about PATH. Everybody know about PATH.
Yes.
And if Charlene have 2 children, it no matter what is Charlene's situation in life, Charlene believes that she must step on PATH. That is not how it works. Not every program is for everyone. So Charlene may not be eligible for PATH because Charlene needs help, but Charlene is not in the category of person that is eligible for PATH. She may be eligible for something else, like a rehabilitation grant or an entrepreneurship grant or something of that nature. So I have to be repeating in telling persons, it doesn't mean, if you don't get on PATH, it doesn't mean the ministry doesn't care or the government doesn't want you to benefit. It means you need to find the solution that fits your circumstance. So we have put together a little booklet, and we're going to start to distribute that booklet soon in soft and hard copy to help persons to be more informed and have greater and easier access to the range of programs, from the social intervention programs, from the Step to Work program that is particularly for PATH students, from the tertiary grants that are for PATH students, from the benefits that PATH students get under student loan now that others may not get, from the availability of support for persons who want funeral grant and other support, all of the things that can come from the ministry, so that you know which program fits your circumstance, and you don't leave saying to yourself, them wicked people don't want to help me. That's not how it goes. Sometimes you have to remember that everything we do is audited. So if we put you on the program and you're not eligible for the program, you know who going to be in problem? Not you, Minister Charles. So we have to make sure that you're on the right program for your circumstance, and that you're getting the right information, so you can pass that information on to others who you may meet who need the support.
Indeed. And I'm sure that some of the viewers might be hearing about some of those programs for the very first time, even though they've been around for so long. All right, so we're in summer, active hurricane season that we're looking towards and all of that, but we still need to keep our young people engaged. I know that the MLSS also has a program where employment is sought for young people. I believe 3 months is paid for by the ministry, and then the employer would pay for the next 3. There's a 6 months. That program is that program still ongoing?
So that's part of the social intervention program, but our program is not a summer program. Our program is all year round. So we do that for students 24 hours a day, 365 days a year with the Ministry of Labor. So it's not a specialized thing for us for summer. However, what I see happening is that a lot of the students that are going through other programs, whether it is Hope or Heart or other ministries, we are able to help to place them as well, and to connect them with the right um, type of business or organization, depending on what they're looking to get experience in. But we have a database that is good in terms of connecting the potential employee to the potential employer. So yes, several of our students throughout the year are still now in job training, job experience, and we, for instance, in my constituency, I have utilized maybe 3 or 4 different programs, and I have about more than 30 youngsters in internships coming out of my office, from different programs. Some of them are non-governmental programs, but I sign up the students and get them to be as productive as possible. I find, and it is unfortunate, but I found that sometimes students they say they want to do it, but if it takes to even write a little essay, it's not going to get done. So at the office, what we have done is created sort of like a unit that facilitates students being placed from different programs. As I said to you, we are involved in programs that have nothing to do with government, but private persons know that I can get the students and they want the students. So we help our students to get access, and we primarily get them into programs where they're paid more than $60,000, most of them, which helps many students who get on for a month or two to buy what they need to go back into school, or just to carry them through the summer, or just to connect with other students and expand their network. But it's a really awesome opportunity for many students, and I would encourage parents in particular, don't sit back. Get your children involved. The work experience that they gain in the summer will help them to gain their ultimate job when they're leaving school, if it is that they end up, for instance, doing a bachelor's or even leaving high school. Because many persons leave with the academic qualifications, but as somebody who employs, you could have the best degree in the world. If you don't have experience and the right attitude, I don't need you, because
right.
your degree alone is not going to be able to reflect the kind of engagement that I want from my business. I want people who have some experience, some common sense experience, have some work experience, and most importantly, I want persons with the right type of attitude.
That's right. You can train those people once they have the right attitude. Right. All right. So we're going to keep it in that vein, because the next big area is skills. And even though Hart has been singing it day in, day out, I don't think some people have gotten it, the importance of skills. So tell us a little bit more, Charlene, about the Summer of Skills program and how it can actually help our young people.
All right. So our Summer of Skills program, I'm here nodding as the minister speaks, because he has been just hitting on some critical points that we really wanted to promote regarding our Summer of Skills program. We understand that young people, especially this generation, they're searching for what they want to do. They're looking for something they're going to like. It's a lot about what they like. And so we want to give them an opportunity to experience various skills. It's happening over 3 to 6 weeks, which means you can register for more than one, depending on where you are and what you're doing. And so from the age of 14, we've partnered with the Ministry of Education, and we're saying at the age of 14, we recognize that third form, they're going to be selecting their subjects. Exposure to skill can help so many of them to understand that it's not just about the doctor, lawyer, Indian chief, but they can also make the sort of money they see and dream of through skills. And so we've essentially curated these programs that we have under the Summer of Skills intervention so that our young people can get experience and exposure in some of our new and emerging skills. Some of the skills we recognize that they will be able to keep. They won't go out because AI is going to come up and take these jobs. These are jobs that we know that our Jamaican young people will love, skills that we understand that they'll need for the future and our country will need to grow. We are data driven, and so we use data to make a lot of our decisions. We use data to make decisions on our programs. We speak to the sectors. We support all the key sectors: agriculture, hospitality, construction, ICT, services and BPO, manufacturing, and the creative sector. And we have programs for the summer program, the Summer of Skills program, particularly under all of these sectors, because we hear the cry from our employers. They want employable young people who are trainable, but they understand the sectors and the areas that they're going into. And so that is the genesis of our Summer of Skills program, to introduce skills as an area for our young people so they understand that moving into third form, fourth form, fifth form, and beyond into their work life, university life, they can select skills. Um, as the minister said, this is a summer intervention for us, but we have a number of other opportunities for our young people. And we believe that though we talk about young people, heart is for every age group from 17 all the way up to 100. I think the oldest person in Jamaica who died was 107, I believe, recently. And we had a program that could accommodate her. So we have our institution-based programs, which means you can go to an institution, day release, you go each day or based on the schedule there. We have part-time and full-time. You can go on weekends and you can go through the week or on the evenings. We have 4 of our institutions are residential. So you could live right here in this region and you could go to the Hard College of Hospitality Services to do hospitality there. So 4 residential institutions allow persons to move from space to space to get the training in this region. Fortunately, 2 of our institutions are residential, and that's the Hart College of Construction Services, and they're offering summer programs, and the Ebony Park Academy, and they're offering some programs as well. We have our workforce training program. So if you're in your job currently and you want to upskill or you want a promotion and you recognize that you need to get some new skills, that opportunity exists every day for persons in workforce. Come to our offices or call us and let us know what it is you're interested in, and we will craft and create those programs to support you. For young people between 17 and 29, we have an on-the-job training program similar to that of the Ministry of Labor, where you can come and learn and get your skill while getting a stipend, which means probably once or twice per week, you're released into the classroom and you learn there, but you go back on the job and you learn on the job the critical skills you need. And many of these young people, they end up getting some really good jobs because that work experience cannot be written on paper without the critical experience gained. Of course, we have literacy and numeracy as a part of our program, as we inherited the Jamaica Foundation for Lifelong Learning in our merger. And all age groups, everybody, we have literacy and numeracy training programs. And I want to tell you that we have some success stories coming out of our literacy and numeracy programs. We have 70-odd-year-olds graduating, learning to read and write and to fill out their forms, and can come up to the Ministry of Labor and Social Security and fill their forms out themselves. I am absolutely delighted when I see these persons excited about learning. We have our job placement opportunities, and we have our LIFT program. And the LIFT program allows young persons to gain valuable work experience With a significant stipend, they gain about $85,000 per month. A portion of that becomes savings for them for an investment, and they gain valuable experience during the period they are placed in ministries, private sector, all over. We have our young persons. We also have the empowerment program, and the empowerment program is for all persons with disabilities. And this program supports job placement. So they get to get some experience on the job, and our firms, many of them are so excited to be able to support them. They get a stipend and they're able to work, some of them working in offices, some working in schools, supporting and contributing to our economy. And I want to share with you as well that we do also have an MSME support program. And our MSME support program is one of the programs we're putting forward as part of our support post burial. It's for micro firms, really. If you have a small business and you want a grant, enroll in our programs. We offer up to $300,000 in support for micro firms. So you can get $300,000 in inputs. And we have a number of persons on our programs who are farmers. We have a number of farmers. They have a small little chicken farm and they want some items to support their farm. And so we offer them and they become certified or enrolled and they gain the $300,000 in inputs. Additionally, they may be able to access $1 million in inputs. And these firms as well, normally we're looking for firms that are thinking outside the box, have an idea and they really want support for it. And the Heart NSTA Trust will provide them up to $1 million in inputs for those micro firms. And they don't have to be a trainee for that one. Any firm at all can participate in that. And we, as I mentioned, we're pushing forward this as an opportunity for persons who would have been affected by burial. But all our programs, similar to what the minister said, we are trying to ensure that persons are aware of all the opportunities. They are available all year round. And so we want persons, even at this time, to be able to come and gain a skill or gain an opportunity through the Heart and Estate Trust.
That's a long list of opportunities there, and Minister shared a whole list from the ministry as well. Go ahead, Minister.
I wanted to say something. Firstly, Miss Nora is 110, who passed away. I went to look for her last month. She lives in Blenheim in Hanover with Bustamante. That area there has long livers. And also I want to say this. Heart Trust NSTA doesn't say it, but I am their #1 support as a member of parliament. I don't see any other member of parliament that give Heart the support that I give. And I will continue to do so because it somewhat frustrates me that the youngsters are not rushing. Heart, Monday, 8 a.m., Heart door should be full. It should be full. Every single morning it should be full. The amount of persons I hear saying, boy, not now, go on, and I want something. You should be at Heart door, knocking down the door, saying, hey, Miss Charlene, what go on, what I can do? And it sometimes, so to me, when you look on the assessment program that can give you, if you have a skill, one day you can go do an assessment and get a certificate to show that you have this skill. A skill that you have all your life, but you just don't have a certificate to be able to get a job at a hotel or even get a job overseas. Heart is saying, come, you know, I forgot to know going through. Come, let me assess you. And if you can prove and establish that you actually have this skill, we will help you to get a certificate. Why are they not knocking down the door? This is a concern for me, I'm telling you. I meet so many youngsters and I have to say to them every time, I say, stop making up excuses about politicians and politician that. You have to be able to get up and get out and grab the opportunity, right? That's why I push it hard so much. And I have a hard program coming up soon, and just because of burial, we're going to move the date. But we're going to set up and we're going to have the largest assessment ever in Clarendon. Watch, Ms. Mohan, I promise you this as regional director, I am going to provide for you the largest amount of persons you have ever seen at any one heart event coming up. Whatever date we set, I think we're setting it for, is it September? For September, we want to move it to. And we are going to go around and pull at least 200 to 300 persons for an assessment and career fair. You watch. Once we can come and Heart can give us the support,
we will.
we'll be looking forward.
And I want to add, as you said, Minister, for those young persons, that our programs up to level 4, the Prime Minister would have announced, they are free. They are free. Our trainees who come to training in our institutions get meals. The ones who are on our residents get 3 meals per day. So there's really no reason persons should be sitting at home or sitting on the corner just waiting for an opportunity to come to them. We are creating opportunities for persons to come, get trained, get jobs. Just recently, we had one young man. He did plumbing at our Hart College of Construction Services. And one of our team members saw him driving his beautiful BMW and said, hey, you went away? You went to foreign? He said, no, I've been here. I've been doing my plumbing. And he's going across the island doing that and making significant money so he can live out his dreams. And that is what we want to share with persons, that your dreams, those ideals and ideas that you have, they can come through training and skills development. Skills pay the bills, and we believe that holistically.
Indeed. And if you're just joining us, we are talking about empowering communities. And I'm sure you've heard a lot since you've been here, if it's even for a couple of minutes. And we're looking at post-hurricane support and opportunities. And we're hearing from Minister and Charlene Mohan from Heart that some of these programs that we're talking about have been around long before burial and will continue long after burial. All right, so let me just engage with our live audience. JP McDonald, good night, welcome. Melgore, Dr. Lavelle, JP Bailey, thank you for tuning in. These are our community advocates, and I'm sure they will be taking the word back out into the communities. And for the others who are here with us live and those who will be watching the replay, thank you for tuning in. And as usual, we have a comprehensive recap that we share in a blog post on Monday at serenityresourceconnector.com. So be sure to subscribe for that. Minister, I know that it's early days yet, but we have heard that we can look out for more hurricanes. We don't know what is to come, but of course, these plans and ideas that we have must go on. Are there discussions currently at the ministerial level as it relates to sustainable measures to mitigate against some of these disasters? What are some of the key things that we're looking at?
So what we're doing now is trying to get everybody stabilized and safe. So insofar as we're able to help people to restore so they can have a home to go to, we're doing so. But we are encouraging and with the help of JDF and others who will be helping us in the construction, we are mandating that whatever roof is put on your structure is a roof that is better than what you had on before. So if you're using zinc, you have to use the hurricane straps. And we can eliminate the zinc and put on something concrete. We hope to do so as well. We're also, doing a lot of infrastructural work. So you'll find the NWA is out cleaning drains, assessing drains, and looking at the designs to ensure that we can mitigate against the flooding damage and issues that we saw with Hurricane Beryl and subsequent to Hurricane Beryl. We're also trying to extend the raising of awareness to make persons very informed and alert. And a big part of that is even what I'm doing now, even having this conversation with you. We do this daily. So there has been no day, I think, from Beryl that I'm not either. Are you hearing me now?
All right, you're back now. Go ahead.
Hearing me now?
Yes, we're hearing you now.
Am I back?
Yes, you're back. You're back.
Back. All right. Sorry about that. So where I am, I still don't have light. Well, I have light, but I don't have internet. So I'm streaming. I'm streaming off of my mobile hotspot.
Oh, okay.
I'm not as lucky as the lovely Charlene Mohan, who has light and internet and AC and all
I
of
have
that.
none of the above. None of the above.
Yeah, well, you look like you do, so you're doing well. But no, so we are very concerned, because I can't recall us getting this type of hit so early in the hurricane season. We're used to it in September, October. And the reality is we have to prepare our minds as well as prepare our communities. I've said it before, this Beryl showed me how much we're not taking care of our environment. When I looked on the amount of bottles that were left in the gullies that we were hurriedly cleaning, it's a big concern. And a lot of it has to do not with government, but with your own personal and individual relationship with your community and your responsibility, yes, drains must be cleaned, but the drain must also not be dirtied with things that ought not to be in there. And you have communities where you have people even coming outside of the community into the community to dump garbage, and people must be more respectful, man, and mindful. Mothers, fathers, children live in these spaces, so we really have to make an appeal for us to do more work in terms of cleaning, but also as a community, as the people who own the space, to take up more responsibility. When I went to Japan, I'm telling you, if your hot dog drop on the ground, you could have taken it and eat it. Yes,
That's clean.
It's clean, and I want Jamaica to be that, and we can be that. Because when you walk into some of the houses of persons who I've seen, it is spick and span. So outside can be like that as well. So yes, I the NAA ODPEM, you're gonna hear them a lot more. They're going to be going out and informing people, and just ensuring that people are alert and doing what you can as the government does what the government can.
All right. Ava, thank you for tuning in from over there in Longville Park. She's reminding us to keep the faith, and that every lessons learned to disaster risk management is everyone's responsibility indeed.
Right. Absolutely.
Which brings us to the whole matter of collaborations and partnerships. That's one of the tenets of this program, collaborations and partnership, because I believe that is what is going to get us out of this trench that we're in. And we've been seeing a lot of that. I can speak for Heart. Heart is in the heart of collaborations and partnerships around everywhere you turn. Heart is there. And so in terms of collaborative measures coming out of this, Minister, you mentioned just now about ODPEM and other entities, and we're looking forward to seeing more coming out as it relates to recycling as well, ramping that up. Are we expecting to see more of that? Because from time to time we hear there's not enough recycling plants. There are discussions about building, but there might not be land space. Are there discussions around that at the ministerial level?
Yes, definitively. Collaboration is critical. and we have to work together effectively and productively. And so, in collaboration not only strengthens you, but it allows you to reduce the duplication. A lot of us are doing the same thing, and when you do it that way, it dilutes the impact on the community if you're not doing it in a coordinated way. So, if there's one thing that we've learned in Beryl is you better coordinate or you're going to be wasting resources. So definitively that we'll have that better coordination. A lot of it is coming from ADPEM being the leaders in that regard, but there are other sections of the response that require, outside of ADPEM, requires the non-governmental organizations, the private sector, to really come in and play their part as well. So the Ministry of Labor and Social Security is driving that process from our end. We also are going to be starting a program, an initiative called the Jamaica Partnership Program. And that partnership program is all about collaboration. It's all about diaspora and local and regional coming together to see how we can help the most vulnerable in our country. We have some big decisions to make in Jamaica. Are we going to continue to live in places that are below sea level? It's a big, I know, listen, when a politician says these things, this is the kind of talk that gets you booted because people don't want to move. But, if we're going to keep our people safe, we're going to have to do things that are bold and right.
That's right.
And we have some big decisions to make in terms of the policies and the plans going forward when it comes on to disaster risk management. So that it's not just a responsive process, but a very proactive one.
That's right. Because if you don't take these hard decisions up front, then we'll forever be picking up the pieces, and we don't have time for that. We have lives and property to protect and country to build. All right, we have a question here from Lady Brown Graham from over there in Longville Park. Is there any way the MLSS office, that's the Ministry of Labor and Social Security office in Maypen, can be relocated to facilitate the elderly and physically challenged? That staircase.
It will have to be relocated. I've given the instruction already. They are working now on the completion of a design to put for my consideration. There's some land that we own close by there, and it is my intention for us to build a purposeful office that will allow for the Ministry of Labor and Social Security to reflect the kind of accessibility that we are asking Jamaica to adhere to. We should be the number one in terms of accessibility, and not just physical accessibility in every way, communication and otherwise, because many times you think of just wheelchair, but there's several other issues that come with accessibility, whether you are without sight or hearing or many issues. But we should be the one, based on our responsibility, to lead, and that's my instruction and direction to the ministry. We get going in terms of the construction of an office in Clarendon, as well as an assessment of every one of our offices in all parishes to make sure that we are accessible as possible, and then to move from there to all other government ministries, departments, and agencies. Because if, again, I can't get out there and ask for access when I am one of the culprits. So the government must lead in action, and so we're taking stock of our own spaces first. We're actually working with UTech, with one of their departments that treat with building, and bringing in some of their students to help us with the assessments of the government agencies and departments and ministries, so that we can ensure that they adhere to what we call the accessibility checklist, which is something I launched earlier this year, which mandates that every architect, every developer meet the standards of accessibility, and that includes our MLSS office.
All right, love that. Minister, lead by example. Thank you for tuning in, Lady Dillon. Great to have you, another of our community leaders here with us. All right, so we have a lot of people like Minister and many others that are without electricity. I don't know how those parents are managing with those young people without access to their devices. So what advice would you give to those people who feel overwhelmed with all the recovery that's taking place? You're waiting for JPS, and although they're working day and night, it seems like there's no hope inside. So what advice, Minister, can you give to them to help them in terms of that small step in the right direction? How can they make better use of the time so that they come out stronger with the opportunities?
Well, you know, one of the things I can tell you, many parents right now are happy that there's no internet. I have been getting called, Mr. Charles. I'm glad that them can't go on the Insta something there, see? Because the parents are relieved that some of the kids are now forced to take a break from the constant social media. I think that even one parent was remarking to me that it's the first time they've seen the child read a book outside of school. So for some persons, it is giving them an opportunity to get back to the basics. For others, it's a horrible time because when you mix no light and no water with too many mosquitoes, you have a very frustrating experience. And so I am glad that step by step we're getting light back. Even a while ago, when you see me looking down, I'm talking to constituents. We just got a message that Rocky Point, some of the areas in Rocky Point now have light. The areas in Lionel Town, we're working on the internet. Portland Cottage Main Road now has light and going up into some other areas. So little by little, we're taking steps back to normalcy. And I would remind you, you know, we have life.
That's right.
We are alive. If you are listening to me and hearing my voice, you're not dead, which means you got through burial on the better end of the stick. People died. Maybe not directly because of burial, but because of the mistakes or decisions they made. But people died as a result or connected to it. And we are here and you're listening. And once you have life, it means you have opportunity. You know, an opportunity brings challenges, but I focus more on the opportunity side of it. So I would say to you, hug up your kids, you know, find creative ways of making things and doing things to get through the time. You'll soon be back to where you were. But it might be to your benefit to not go back to the same state of mind. How about you get back internet, but you still continue to read? How about you try to measure how you use your time in an even better way? And how about you not take for granted the water that you have now, that you've gotten back water? For those of you who are leaving on the pipe and leaving on the hose because you're not paying for it. I think whenever we're in these experiences, it really should cause us to think twice and not take anything for granted. We have life, we have resources. Let's use it to the best of our ability.
Indeed.
And send out the 14. Send out the 14 and up to our Summer of Skills. Let them get their hands involved in some activities.
Stimulate their minds, right?
Yes.
All right. Yes. You're welcome, Lady Brown Graham. Lady Brown Graham is thanking you, Minister, for the response to her question. All right. We have another question here from Fabian. He operates a horticulture business that was badly damaged by the hurricane. My business is not registered. What kind of help is there for me?
Is he a RADA registered farmer?
Fabian, if you could quickly respond to that. Are you registered with RADA? Let us know.
Let me say this is why we ask persons to come into the formal sector.
Yes.
because informality makes it difficult for you to be counted for benefit. So I will make this appeal and encourage all persons involved in agriculture or fisheries or anything of that nature. Register yourself with the relevant authority. Register with RADA, and formalize your business, because that's one of the ways that you can be accounted for when benefit is being distributed. Otherwise, if you don't have all of those formal structures, you still can get some support if you are assessed by the Ministry of Labor and Social Security through our rehabilitation program. But again, it is still easier and better for you if you are in the formal structure. And I must tell you, Winsome, one of the hindrances to our development will be informality. We must become a Jamaica where all can be accounted for, where all can be identified, where I can say easily how many persons are registered here, but also how many persons actually live here. So when I get $100 million, I can know where to allocate it, who I'm allocating it to, and that way we become a much more productive society.
Indeed. Fabian is saying it's not. So Fabian, you want to start checking on that? Still go by the Ministry of Labor and Social Security to see what support can be offered. Right, Minister?
Where does Fabian live?
Fabian, are you in Clarendon? Which parish are you?
While he answers, I want to share that for our MSME support program, we assist businesses in formalizing. As we do absolutely agree that formalization allows you to get access to lots of support, whether locally or internationally. And so we walk with you through the process of formalization, from registering your business name all the way through managing. I think one of the fears persons have is, I'm going to owe the government a lot of tax. And so we walk you through even that matter and help businesses recognize at what point you begin to owe the government tax and how to manage that. And so we believe in formalization. And so our MSME support program, for which persons can get up to $1 million in inputs for their businesses, we will support you to get your business formalized. Fabian, if you wish, or if you have been trained by the trust in the last year or would like to be trained by the trust, you can access up to $300,000 in inputs for your business once you are a trainee or a recent graduate.
Fabian is in Longville Park. So Fabian, here, there's another opportunity. Check with Hart. Go over by the Hart location as well if you have accessed any of the programs recently. All right, we have another question here. Karine is asking, what if people aren't registered with RADA but lost their livelihood in the previous hurricane? Chicken farm lost their coop and all those stuff.
This is a problem, Karine. RADA is going to have a difficulty helping you if you are not registered. That's why every single time we have an event, RADA comes and they say, please register yourself, get your RADA ID, because when it comes on to the distribution of that $700 million, they cannot distribute to persons who are not registered. They will not be able to give you that support. So, Karine, not that you can't get support, you can get support, but you're going to have to now go through the difficulty of doing perhaps a rehabilitation grant through my ministry. I know Karine is in Damping, if it's the same Karine that I'm thinking about. And what I would implore is, Karine, don't allow yourself to go through another 2 weeks without going to RADA. Get your chicken ID from RADA. Let them come and look on your coop. And it's not just about getting any support now that you've lost your chicken. RADA is actually going to help you throughout your process. So they'll come, they'll help you to make sure the CUB is properly structured, and they'll give you guidance so that your productivity in terms of the output is better. So it's not just a matter of, boy, if something lost, I can get some money. No, they're there to help you to make sure that what you're doing is making you as much profit as possible. Okay?
All right, Karine. Trust you heard, Minister. Moisha is asking if there are any summer job opportunities still available. She's in Clarendon.
Absolutely,
Yes.
Moisha. From the Heart NSTA Trust, you can come to our offices. Our second phase of our summer program will begin in August. And so you can come register for the program. We go through everything with you so that you can get that opportunity from Heart.
I know about 4 Moishas in my constituency, so I don't know which one this is. If it is one from Clarendon, from my constituency. But in addition to the Heart programs, as I said to you, I do internships from my office. About 30 more are coming in August too. And Heart works with us in that regard as well, Miss Charlene. So, Moisha, depending on where you are, you have several opportunities available to you to get an internship.
All right, Moisha, make sure you take advantage of that now. All right, Karine is thanking you, Minister. Noted with action. All right. That's important, because we come in this space and we facilitate the sharing of resources. But if you do not take action, it does not help you or us or anyone else. And we are in the whole business of empowering you as individuals so our communities can be empowered and our country can move forward. So thank you, Karine, in advance for taking action. Fabian, Moisha, thank you in advance. We had a member of our community in her 70s. She came across the program on YouTube when we did, back in 2022, we did the Year of Early Childhood Development, and we shared about where they can access the training for early childhood certification. And she didn't just see it and move on. She has been searching but didn't know where to access the service. And she went and she said it was a challenging journey, but she is now certified up to level 3 in early childhood education. And those are some of the success stories that's coming out of this space that I love, because that's what it's all about. All right, Moisha is from Mineral Heights, Minister. So I don't know if that's one of the Moisha.
Let me tell you something. My constituency is so big. Everybody, I have never, I'm telling you this, I have never gone anywhere in Jamaica and don't find somebody from my constituency. It is massive. So you understand that Mineral Heights, Dampy, Longville Park, all
those areas.
All persons who messaged you a while ago, I'm sure, come from the bustling Southeast Clarendon.
All right. We're over the hour, but we are getting as much of your time and expertise as we can, Minister. All right. Vessel of honor. What if I was in the process of building a shop which was halfway through and it was blown down flat by the wind in the hurricane? Would I be able to get any assistance, please?
So if you didn't have a shop that could be seen as an established shop, it would be difficult for you to get a grant, I think, through the micro business grant, because that's for persons who had established business. But I am sure that you could get some support through the facility given to every member of parliament, where there's more flexibility, and you could get support for instance, the material that you would have lost, that you expended on in terms of putting on part of your shop. So I would say check your member of parliament. Not sure if the member of parliament is me, but check your member of parliament first, and perhaps that person can also guide you to wherever you can get the benefit.
All right, Dorothy Sewell is greeting you, Minister.
Good day, Miss Dorothy. That's another constituent.
All right. Please do not keep the information to yourself. This recording will remain on YouTube, so you can share the link so others can access the replay to get their answers to some of the same questions that they might have. All right. So we are over the 1 hour mark. So let's take some final thoughts. Lady Charlene, what final thoughts do you have to leave with us from heart?
You know, just listening to some of the concerns and some of the things that persons have been experiencing, just walking in my mind back through my own experience with burial and how traumatizing it is, or it was and still is to an extent, because, you know, persons are still without some of the utilities and the services that we're used to. But it has caused for me to be reflective of the fact that, as the minister said, I'm alive, I'm still here, which means there's still purpose on me to do something. And so I want to encourage persons to recognize that you're still alive. And so there is an opportunity for you to access from us a number of programs. There are some of us who have been just procrastinating around getting a skill, around getting an opportunity, about just getting up out of the yard and just go do something. Here, Beryl came and just changed and just shifted our focus. And it allowed for me to recognize, hey, I've been sitting here waiting on some things that I really wanted to get done, and I've been just putting it off. And so it's time. And so what I'm saying to your viewers, it's time. It's time to get up, go out, get those opportunities, come to us, get the skills, go and create opportunities yourself. I believe we're in a season in Jamaica when we are, becoming a little less sensitive to our neighbors and so on. And Beryl also has allowed us to say, hey, look across. So what's happening with your neighbor? What's happening with persons in our vicinity? What's happening in our community in terms of its care? Just the environment. It's time. It's really, really time. And I don't think another hurricane should come and we're not skilled up. We're not looking in our communities to see how we can keep it beautiful and environmentally ready and friendly. It is time. And I just want persons to come to us, go to the Ministry of Labor and gain some of those opportunities. Let's do what we can to prepare ourselves.
Well said. Minister, your final thoughts.
I'm grateful that we're alive. I'm grateful that we have more good in us than we do the bad. I'm grateful to be blessed with the opportunity to be one of the leaders in this country, to serve the people here. I'm grateful for the burdens that we've been given and the lessons that we have learned going through burial. And I just want to encourage everyone, those who are still having a hard time, you'll pull through, push. Try and just make sure you don't take anything for granted. I think for me, every day I have to remind myself, I don't know what tomorrow is going to be.
Right.
I don't know what next weekend is going to be. Try and just make best use of what you have. Try and respect what is given to you by the Almighty now. You're not in charge of His clock. You're only, you're just one element working in a larger system. But you can make an impact on yourself, on your family, on your street, on your community, and on your country, maybe even the world. Who knows? I'm sure Usain Bolt, when he was 12 or 13, had no clue in his mind he would become Mr. to the world. We have many Usain Bolts in Clarendon, in many different sectors, but they need support. So which is why I am the most supportive member of Parliament for Heart Trust NSTA. I want to end by just encouraging you to knock on their door. Don't sit down and gripe and quarrel and blame Pearnel Charles. Pearnel Charles, all right. I'm telling you, keep on telling people, make good. At the end of the day, I have a profession. I can take care of myself, whether I'm here in this politics or not. I want you to be good. I want you to be able to say as boldly as me and as confidently as me that you're going to be okay. And for you to do that, you have to upscale yourself. You have to become literate. You have to be numerate. You have to can tell somebody, no, that's okay. I'm going to take that job because you are sought after because of your competence. And heart is giving you that opportunity. So get up, get out, get to them, utilize the chance. And lastly, help somebody. What is it if you're living in this space and everything is you, me? What is it about us? You're on a street, you know, so somebody on next door is 82 years old and alone. Go help the woman. Go and get up and help someone in your space. That's why we're here. We're here as a team, the whole of us. It's not one alone, it's one for all. So that's the last thing I want to say to you. This is a good conversation, Winsome. I wish you the best.
Thank you.
As you continue to connect people and empower communities. And I want to bless you. And let's pray that you continue to be successful in your journey and in your efforts to just expose us to people and people to us. So thank you for the opportunity
My
to be on this
pleasure.
show.
Thank
Right?
you so much for that blessing, Minister. Appreciate it. And as you mentioned, helping, I must applaud the business community who have been putting together packages. Right now, we have the Parish Development Committee that's putting together some packages to go out into those different areas. We have businesses from in Clarendon, outside of Clarendon, that has been pulling together care packages, truckloads of water going into different areas, thanks to the community members who sending their requests to the different entities to say that they're out of water. And we have a number of businesses who have put their resources out there to truck water to these different locations. And I must applaud, as the president for the chamber, applaud the businesses for just coming on board to do that. And come tomorrow, July 19th, applauding the businesses again. And I'm a proud president of the chamber, because not many chamber presidents can say this, that the support for the 5 AC units going into the pediatric ward at the Lioneltown Hospital is from the business community, primarily the Chinese members of the community. Excellent. And that has been a dream of mine, to get the Chinese on board. And I can say, dream accomplished, vision seen. Yes, thank you. And I applaud the business community for pulling. Thanks to Stoplight Wholesale for helping to make it happen. We have to get creative sometimes. And thank God for ChatGPT. When I drafted that letter, transcribe it to Chinese and send it to get it checked to make sure that the language came back, and they came on board. And I'm really grateful for that. So, excellent. As Minister said, that's why we are here, and that's what keeps me going. So thank you all. Thank you so much, Minister, for coming on at such short notice and sharing your heart. I love where you're sharing from. And I just want to see more coming out of. And I see the work you've been doing with the young people, pulling together all of these different initiatives for them to be certified, pulling together all of these business places for them to go in and get their opportunities at job. And really applaud the effort, and looking forward to the collaboration to come in September. And I'll be sure to share the information in this space and across the platform when that comes up. Charlene, Mohan, welcome to Region 6. We look forward to greater things as we move forward. I know the team is stretched because we call you all the time from all different areas of the parish. Thank you for always being responsive. And we applaud the work that the team is doing, and I pray that others like Minister, will come on board to strengthen what is happening at heart, because we need to get our young people to that place where
Or
they
like you.
can sustain themselves. All right, I see. All right. Thank you and amen. Dorothy saying amen. We thank you, Minister Charles, for your blessings and well wishes. God bless you, sir. All right. And let me thank you all our viewers live and watching replay for joining us here. And remember, we do this every Thursday at 8 p.m. So you can subscribe, and let me welcome you in advance to the community. Set your notifications so that you do not miss a beat. Next week is going to be 4th Thursday. So we are going to be tuning into local governance and community development with the Clarendon Municipal Corporation. And we are pulling together some other entities in this space to join the representative. I believe we should have the mayor on next week, Thursday. So tune in. You'll never know. Fabian, you want to tune in for that, because we might have someone that can provide you with some additional information as well. All right. Thank you again. Thanks to you all for the wonderful meeting. You're welcome, Vessel of Honor. Have a fantastic rest of the evening, Minister. Bless you.
One love.
One love.